the bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team got it, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. 100 million bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, blue punts. Whole team got that's a big number.
Incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. Yeah. I just had to let you know. Yeah. Give me that work and I can sell it. I put it on the line like I ain't selfish, nah. The story flip if I let you tell it. Put my heart and soul in so you feel it. I ain't never faking, I'm the realest since Tupac in imprisonment, claiming his innocence. Currently, I'm the greatest rapper in a sense. But any currency, I'm still guaranteed my wins. This is coming from within, I stuff for real, I don't pretend. When the OG spilling knowledge, bet it's best you soak it in. I'm a prophet to them scholars, got them chakras opening. Got them fixing up they octaves, now they truly focused in. I'm seeing 2020 visions. Daily manifesting on my premonitions. Best to keep it neutral, got my own religion. The brainwash, gotta make your own decision. My word is James Bond, I stay on the mission. Coming for the top position, ain't no competition, man. Pull up in the top, it's missing, the opposition in. All that lane switching, this is what the game is. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know.
I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks. With that, let's get up to Seattle. Standing by at CenturyLink Field, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, we are just about set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. A few moments ago, they raised the 12th man banner, and this place, as usual, rocking and rolling. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you from our broadcast perch. And, Charles, as we get this thing started, what are you going to be keeping your eye on?
Special teams. Field position is always a big determiner in a ball game. Who sets their offense up for success the best, that team will win the game.
The punter and kickoff man, Sam Martin, to get us started. And off we go from Seattle. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, coming out here. And while the MVP award looks like it will be Lamar Jackson's, not Russell Wilson's, he had a heck of a season. Over 4,000 yards for the third time, 31 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. And CD, while we saw the emergence of DK Metcalf late in the year, does Russell Wilson need more surrounding him firepower-wise offensively?
They certainly do, and I think the Seattle will work to get that. And if they're looking at the receiver position and you're looking at the draft, it's a really deep wide receiver class for 2020. So they'll have opportunities there. I think they'll just continue to fortify. They're going to want to get their running backs back. They had a couple that got dinged at the end of the year, and Chris Carson and Rashad Penny. But they get back to being Seattle that way, running the heck out of it and throwing to those big wide receivers. They feel pretty good about what Dangerous can give them at the quarterback position. And how about what he did at the Pro Bowl?
That was
that, right? He was voted the starter, looked at Drew Brees and said, hey, you're Drew Brees. You should start ahead of me, and gave up his position. Very cool.
First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. They couldn't contain Deshaun Hand that time as he gets home for the sack.
Second down, back at the 34-yard line.
Touch 50.
Check. Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
Yeah, check it.
To try again after the sack. Wilson, and it's hauled in by Ed Dixon. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 44-yard line.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
They'll run on first down. It's Carson. Fights through, and now a crease. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
14. Devo.
On second down, it's Carson. Now Carson fumbles the football.
Easy. Good job right there.
Mike 51. Tackles.
Third and 2, now Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They bring Rashawn Melvin on the corner blitz, and he gets there. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Rashawn Melvin. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. He was taken down by Cassius Marsh. Stafford with a give. This is Riddick. Now the ball comes loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a 1st down. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
And we talk about... complimentary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got us a turnover. We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make 2nd down pretty tough.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Riddick with a carry. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. No score after 1 on EA Sports. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. James has got it, complete. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. This is taken at the 15. 12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. As Seattle jogs back on the field here, you can't help but think with their season that the old cliche, the game of inches, comes into play for the 2019 Seahawks, because Week 17, that game against the 49ers, Jacob Hollister tackled inches from the goal line, maybe a half a yard. That really changed everything, didn't it?
It certainly did, because if Hollister scores and Seattle wins, they end up getting the open week and getting that little extra rest in the playoffs, and San Francisco goes to Philadelphia to play. And in my mind, San Francisco beats Philadelphia but doesn't advance to the Super Bowl. They needed the break as well as Seattle. Seattle went to Philadelphia, had a tough one there. and then got beat at Green Bay in the very next round. So you're exactly right. To me, in my mind, that little bit of space changed everything for them. And by the way, Jacob Hollister did everything correct on that play. The ball was in the correct arm, because everybody said, well, if he had the other arm, he would have scored. But that's not how you hold it in that situation. It was just a terrific tackle by Drain Greenlaw that changed the fortunes for both of those teams.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a toss play. It's Carson. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
4th down. Here's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now it's Carson. Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4. From the 29, Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. It's a 4-yard pickup, and just like that, it's 3rd down. On 3rd down, Carson. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. Now Wilson. He's got Lockett. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a 1st down. They're able to keep the drive alive. 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. 2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll check in with our Jonathan Coachman. He'll have highlights and analysis of the first half, and our highlights will likely be on the defensive side of the football here. Scoreless game. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Wilson will find Metcalf. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another first end zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf there to make the grab as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Extra point up and through by Myers. Bouncing back nicely from that bad opening drive where he threw the interception. Drive number 2 leads him right down the field and into the end zone.
So obviously his confidence was never lost, and that's a good thing to see. Great quality to have. You absolutely must maintain that as a quarterback. But I have to think that they're probably still on the script that they prepared for this game. Just the second drive. They've worked on these plays all week in practice. Put them to good use on that one.
The Lions offense set to take over. Charles, 3-12-1 for them in 2019. Matt Patricia will be back for a 3rd year. They'll be picking 3rd in the draft, by the way, but this season really got off to a rocky start in week 1. They had a lot of close losses, but that seems to be the storyline every year for Detroit.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because you mentioned week 1 at Arizona. Big lead in the 4th quarter, ended up in a tie. Arizona walked away feeling like the tie was good. For Detroit, it was bad. But they picked themselves off the map from that one and won their next 2. They were 2-0-1 at home against Kansas City. Lost a close one, and as you noted, that was the pattern for the year, and finished up 3-12-1.
Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 46. Amendola, he was the intended target. Well, partner, let's put a bow on the Super Bowl for Kansas City. What a comeback win. Yet another come-from-behind victory for Patrick Mahomes and company. An absolute heartbreak for San Francisco.
Didn't Madden predict Kansas City would win the game?
Yes, 35-31, I believe they predicted.
I felt like most of the predictions I saw had the game in the 30s, so a little bit lower scoring than we expected, but a lot of fireworks down the stretch, all by Kansas City. But how about San Francisco? Had the lead in the ball, under 12 minutes to go, and held Kansas City to 10 points through 3 quarters. And somehow they're winging their way back to San Francisco, trying to understand how they lost that game.
Yeah, not only did Kansas City win it, but they end up winning it by 11 points. They didn't see that coming at all. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. From midfield now, here's Wilson. And it's hauled in by Nick Vanette. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half.
3-15. Hang out. Bam. Slam. Deeper.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 14. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there. We now proceed to the start of the second half.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been a hard-fought battle to this point. 7-0 is the score, with neither offense really able to get on track. But let's not waste any time. We'll get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the second half.
The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Right there. 180.
They go to Johnson again. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, but not be deterred by anything else.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Here's Sam Martin now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Now this is fielded in the end zone. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Seahawks will take over at their own 20. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Wilson over the middle. That's caught by Metcalf. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 41-yard line.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devon Kennard came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9. Yards behind the line of scrimmage. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Gotta go, in and out, let's go. Back.
49, check 49.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Darius Slay with a pick. And he'll take it all the way up near the 30-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense. And say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Here's Riddick. He'll take this up just shy of the 40. Excellent display of footwork on that run. Yeah, he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
And here now the punter, Martin, booming this one away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line. It's into the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball. For the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. On second down, here's Penny. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. The Seahawks on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. Again, it's Penny. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. The Seahawks will go for it. It's Wilson. And that is incomplete. Pete Carroll rolled the dice, but it didn't work out. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. Boy, you talk about not playing it safe. Why were they going for it there, Charles?
It's got to be a full evaluation of their team. Do they trust their defense in this situation? Maybe they think they've given all they can in this game and they don't have anything left. Do they not trust that the other team's quarterback is just so hot that no matter where they get the ball, they go downfield? Remember when Bill Belichick went for it in that game, right, against Indianapolis on the road? And everybody said, why'd you go? For it there, I think he just thought to himself, on the other side, if they get the ball, they're going downfield anyway. He was trying to end the game right there with his own offense.
On 1st down at Stanford. Out to the flat for Reddick. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14. Even though this offense doesn't have a single point to its name, they're not totally out of this game yet. A touchdown here, they could be in business.
And how about that last play? Now they've got momentum going. So, you know, I'm a big advocate. Get back on the line of scrimmage. Throw another play at them while you've got them rocked on their heels.
And it'll be intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who have had the receivers on lockdown.
And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. Now, listen, it's a team game. We know that. But where would these guys be right now, Charles, without their defense? So they take over here following the turnover. Defense did it again. But on offense, they have to feel like, hey, we need to do something.
You're exactly right. And you just mentioned it. The defense did it again. They bailed them out on a number of occasions in this contest. It's time for them to repay the defense at the least Keep the ball for a while. Give those guys a break so they can catch their breath.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Good enough. Good job right there. Good job right there. 44 to the mark. Off. Check. Check right.
Now Wilson throwing again. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again. Stafford letting one go deep for the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Bradley McDougald that time able to knock it away.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throwing on third down, Stafford. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Quentin Jefferson drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. Will be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it online, but it comes up about a rotation short. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, my man, what do you need? What's going on here? So there's one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now. Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Offensively, with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
There. Check 26, check 26.
They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And no, it's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Lions will take over. So a tough pill to swallow there. A would-be touchdown pass in and out of his hands on fourth.
Sometimes it just comes down to execution, doesn't it? Because we're always questioning, should they go for it, should they not? Is it the right play call, is it not? In this situation, everything was right except for the finish. You have to catch the ball and convert.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's James. 7 yards there and a first down. Back to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's James. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. They'll look to throw. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Stafford now to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's James. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Back to throw.
And remember, field goal does them no good in this situation.
You got to think they should be taking some shots for the end zone soon. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that's going to bring up a fourth down. And James has it. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. A couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. He's back to throw. He hits Riddick underneath. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Now Stafford. Is complete to Jones. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. Here we go on 4th. Stafford. And he is across and in for the score. And now they can tie the game in the final stages with the extra point.
Or they can go for 2 and go for the win. Yes, sir, that touchdown puts them in striking distance. And let me tell you something, forget being conservative here. Go for it, go for 2.
Well, going for it on the road. Want to win it right now.
Want to win it right now, have the momentum, go ahead and get it done.
Now Matt Prater for the point after. And he has got it. So barring something crazy on the kickoff, we're looking at an extra period to decide this one. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. A costly mistake here in OT.
And you know what they say, when you throw an interception like that in overtime, you don't usually get a chance to throw a second one. I mean, I'm not sure the analytics on it. Let's ask Marvin, our statistician, to ring that down for us. That's typically how coaches and teams feel about it. If you throw one, you likely cost yourself. The game.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Riddick. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Right there, 54, right there, 54.
Now Stafford with his first throw of OT. And he's taken down inside the 30.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that. They become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
A 1st down carry here for Johnson. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. This one out quickly to Amendola. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
Ready? 250.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. James has got it, complete. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
Set, waiting. 40 got.
Stafford. And is it a touchdown? No signal. No, they say incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time, but it'll be 2nd and goal. They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. Now, partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, tried to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. From Seattle, so long, everybody.